in advocating for the Massa Act and legislation and Iran policy, if you're in the United States, that helps put pressure on the regime. I think a lot of times we forget that this war in Gaza or the attack on Israel rather, was funded by the regime in Iran. And this is a complete proxy war, and they need to be held accountable just as much as Hamas needs to be held accountable. They terrorize their own people, they've terrorized Israelis, they are the largest anti Semitic organization, if you can even call them a government, because they really just are terrorists. We stand with the organization, or at least I stand with the organization, National Union for Democracy in Iran. They have outlined a specific set of policies called Maximum Support, which is endorsed and also supported by Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, and it outlines a specific point by point strategy of initiatives American policy decision makers and lawmakers can adopt to help not only put pressure on the regime in Iran, but also support the people of Iran. So that's pinned up in the nest. If you guys want to go take a look at it, I highly recommend it. Last year at the Maximum Support Unveiling Conference, I was in attendance, and we heard from several speakers, including Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, and his goals and ideas to support and bring maximum support to the states for the people of Iran and put pressure on the regime. So we would love your help in advocating for legislation that not only supports the Iranian people, but also puts pressure on the regime in Iran, given that it would benefit all of the Middle East and every single one of us. So thank you for listening, and I hope you guys all have a good day.
Absolutely amazing. I love it. Thank you so much, Sarah, for everything you do, for always representing Iranians so well and being so tirelessly engaged. So, everyone, that's Maximum Support. I'm going to clear up the nest a little bit so it can be a little bit more focused. Just a little bit more about that. It's the most detailed and sweeping legislative campaign I've ever read. We have here in a link, it is very actionable list of things that all levels of the US government can do. And Massa Act is like the first major step in getting that initiative going. And through the tireless efforts of many activists, such as Sarah and the whole Massa Act army, we've gotten it through the House, and it's currently in the Senate. And so the big thing is to make sure that Senator Cardin feels a little bit of that pressure to actually mark it up. Um, but yeah, but also let's keep the conversation open, because that was all just in real time from Mossad animal trainers' comments about what can Israeli diaspora and Israelis potentially do to help Iranians. Well, for now, that's what our crown prince um, has been helping with, and that's what we support. But the path goes both ways. If there's anything that Iranians can do to help Israelis, be sure to pick up Mike, let us know. As we know, we've seen a lot of people come out and show their support, but you guys know best. You guys know better to let us know. Let's see. Sarah, do you have more you want to add?
I was just going to say really quickly, in all of our recent letters that we've been writing to Senator Cardin and the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, we've always included Israeli interests and the people of Israel in our requests. This is a fight amongst all of us, and you guys are always in my heart. I'm an Iranian American, but I feel that Israelis have become just as much a part of my advocacy as Iranians have, to a degree. I always am thinking of you guys, and I want to make sure that your voices are also represented in my advocacy, because it's very, very important to me, especially given that we hear so largely from pro Hamas or pro Palestinian voices who are advocating for a ceasefire and completely neglecting the fact that Hamas must be eradicated and the hostages must be returned home before we can enter into those discussions. So I wanted to add that really quickly and just say that as much as we advocate for American national security and for the people of Iran, we are also advocating for the interest of the Israeli nation and the Israeli people as well.
I had a quick question. Is it just Cardin, or are there any other senators that can help get it to the floor?
Right now, it's in the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and it's kind of in a little bit of a legislative purgatory, and it kind of falls on Senator Cardin's shoulders to mark up this legislation and progress it forward. It's not just the Massa Act, it's several other Iran related bills that would include the refreeze of the $6 billion that was released by the Biden administration to the regime in Iran. And then we also have the SHIP Act, which has to do with Iranian oil or not, sorry, not Iranian, but the regime's leadership and their oil exports. And then I believe there's a couple other pieces of legislation. I'm going to pin up in the nest the most recent letter that we drafted and wrote to the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and it outlines at the very bottom the legislation that the Iranian diaspora is asking that the Senate Foreign Relations Committee marks up, because these bills have all passed through the House, and now they're just kind of like in this waiting period where we need Senator Cardin to make a move and support them. The problem is that since he has assumed the role of SFRC chair, he has not marked up any legislation. And what we're hearing right now is that for the remainder of December and into the beginning of January, there's not going to be a chance for him to mark it up. But come January 10th, that is when the opportunity will be there for Senator Cardin to mark up these bills. And so we're trying to put pressure not only here on Twitter, but also in the media with journalists and things like that. If we can just get some more awareness out there that these bills are waiting for a SFRC markup, that would be really helpful. If you guys could help, just tweet about it, retweet when we post about it, or if you have any connections with media, things like that, and could get articles out there, that would be extremely helpful to our cause.
Definitely will take part in that and help with that. Um, kind of curious. Well, I'm not going to say on open space what I'm curious about in relation to the holdup. So I'll just keep that to myself for now and discuss that in a in a private place on to figure out some questions I have about that holdup. Alexander's been waiting for a while.
Yes, I want to add something about what TheShahsMan said and you said, Moshe, that it's very important to know that there's between 300 and 350,000 Persian Jewish living in Israel and in United States. Especially in the area of Los Angeles, there's a big Persian Jewish community. Uh, we are fighting a common enemy here, okay, which is the Iranian regime. So we need to get more more people aware of that. That to avoid and end the separation between, oh, we're Iranians, you guys are Israelis, because we're fighting the common enemy that is ruining everything. It's important that we get the word out and unite those 300,000 Persians that are living on the diaspora with all the diaspora that is living outside of Israel, with the Israelis one, because a big fight is being done on the media side. As a friend of mine who is here in the space, he told me before, they have so much money, they have so much people doing the media things, so many bots, so many things that they are brainwashing. Honestly, they're totally brainwashed the people with the false narrative about the Palestinian drama, which also reflects and gives power to the Iranian regime, which is the one that is financing all these things. And there's no doubt in my mind that once we get rid of the Iranian regime and Iranians come back again to their way of life, it's gonna be peace in the Middle East because uh, the major incitator of war in the Middle East is Iran, is the regime. There's no doubt about it. He's the one that is supporting Hezbollah, Hamas, Al Qaeda. All those terrorist organizations are being supported by them because they're afraid that if there's a unification in the Middle East, they're done. I mean, they're totally done. But it's important that we get the bail out and we really get together the both diasporas, the Iranian and the Israeli one, the Jewish one, in order to fight in on the media because we're not too many. We need to be honest with each other. We're not too many. We are fighting against billions of people supporting this Palestinian cause. So we need to really get the word out and create bigger groups, uh, bigger spaces, or even physical places where we can really make people understand, know history, because the thing here is that a lot of people don't know the history. They're just chanting and helping, and in certain way, it's understandable because the majority of these college kids and all that, when you're in college, you want to fight for something. You want to be on the right side of things. The problem is that this generation is not well educated at all, so they don't read. They just go with the crowd. They go with the flow of the river, and that's why when you make separate interviews to these guys, they don't even know what the phrase from the river to the sea means. They don't understand a lot of things. They don't really understand where the Palestine name came from. So a lot of those things have to be addressed. The education. Educate these people in order for us to start winning the media battle. Because one thing is the military ground, and the other one is the other ground that we're going to be fighting for a long time. Because even after we get rid of Hamas, we're going to continue fighting and big anti. As a matter of fact, I truly believe that once we defeat Hamas, we're gonna have a huge, huge fight in the streets with all these supporters that are gonna be enraged, and there's gonna be a lot of riots. There's gonna be, more fights. So we need to be really prepared for that thing and prepare those who really want to support us because it's not easy for some people just to say, yeah, I'm support you. No, you really have to get your hands on it. You really have to start tweeting. You really need to start inviting people. You really need to teach people what is really going on. And it will be peace once, there's no doubt in my mind, once the regime in Iran falls. Iran and Israel, they're going to have a big, huge alliance because you have to remember the shadow of those regimes is going to still there once we get rid of it. So we're going to protect each other against that shadow because we don't know where it can come out again. So it's important to know that it's going to be a big unification between the two nations, and we're going to be the ones that we really going to bring peace in the Middle East. I truly believe that with my whole heart. I truly believe that.
Very well said. And yeah, it's entirely that's the whole idea is just to make sure that people are reading deeper into the roots of this because ultimately the goal is a lasting peace rather than a continuation of cycles of violence. And unfortunately, a lot of these cycles of violence, we get stuck because no lasting, meaningful change happens sometimes. It's always ceasefire, ceasefire, ceasefire. And I understand, sometimes that comes from a place of goodness. People don't want to see war. People don't want to see violence. Neither do I. But the roots of violence sometimes are perpetuated by organizations that have leaderships with billions of dollars living abroad, not even living in Gaza, not even living in the West Bank, unfortunately motivated by personal gain and ideology. So the way I see it is that so long as Hamas exists as a viable organization, they're going to be dedicated to ruining the peace process, as we've all seen. So I truly do look forward to peace for Israelis and for Palestinians. That being said, we got Scully up here. Mike is yours.
Thank you so much for the space, and thank you to everyone who is here. Just two quick points. First, in addition to Senator Cardin, I would suggest that, and especially if you live in a Democratic state, to contact your own senators. Like I live in California, and we have two Democratic senators, and calling them. We also have like a huge Iranian American community. So contacting these senators and asking them to push Senator Cardin, I think is helpful. Squeaky wheels get the grease. That's my first point. And just making, your friends and family members and everyone aware of this so that they can also make the calls, letters, or protests, whatever it is that people can do. And my second comment is that I've been an activist and involved in protests against the Iranian regime since 1999, as I had a personal connection to someone who was arrested in the 1999 protests. And at every single one, I've lived in multiple cities in the US too. And at every single one of those things, always the one group of people who have always shown up were Jewish Americans and Jewish Israelis, consistently across the board. Always seen them, whether they were my friends or people I didn't know, who were there in support. And I just want to thank the Jewish people here for that. That's all.
Thank you so much, Scully. That is really amazing to hear, and you're in 100% the right space. I wish I had some of those fancy soundboards that people like Nelson have right now. I'd be like, bam, right space. Because, that's entirely what so many people have here been doing. That's entirely what Sarah is all about. So I would definitely say in the back channels, maybe get connected with Sarah. She will definitely get you into the right spaces to be able to affect that legislation. Make sure these senators listen and get this message. So we're we've been going on for a little bit. We've gotten a bunch of great speakers. I encourage anyone who's in the listeners right now, if they want to say a word, and yes, that means you. I'm gonna play out another song for the time being, just so that we can kind of recharge, maybe shake around, make sure we don't fall asleep, and then we'll
Real,
go back.
real quickly, Cena had his hand up, but he put it down. I didn't know if he had something he wanted to say or.
Oh, yes, Cena, if you have anything to say, please do.
Just real quickly, because I want to hear your lovely music. Number one, Sarah and her army do not get enough kudos and thank yous for all the hard work, all the effort, and all that they do. And we need to constantly, I feel like, Sarah, we cannot thank you enough. You and your crew are young American warriors who are always in our hearts and our minds, and we cannot thank you enough for all that you do. That's number one. Number two, I believe Alexander, who spoke very beautifully, he's absolutely right that the numbers, although the numbers are not in our favor in terms of the number of people who are actually standing together on the right side of history, on the right side of humanity, with what is going on in Iran, with what is going on with Israel. We just have to keep at it, even though we may not be able to sway many minds or change any minds, but we have to continue speaking what is right, what is true on both sides, on both issues, on the issues of free Iran, on the issues of Israel having the right to defend herself, on the issues what the future would look like with a free Iran and a friendly Iran with the state of Israel. We have to continue pounding it and pounding it and pounding it on social media to whoever we speak to. That is very important, and I think he's 100% right that we need to unite more frequently, and unite more in numbers. The last thing I want to say is it's very important. Sarah, we're putting together, because I'm in Maryland. We're putting together a little army of Jews and non-Jews, but a lot of people who I speak with, that I don't think it's going to happen in the month of December, but I think we are going to go after Senator Cardin. On the issue of marking this up. I have a feeling what I think is the holdup, and I think Moshe also alluded to it, but that's besides the point. The important thing after the fact is going to be the enforcement, because enforcement is as important or even more important just actually passing the bill or passing whatever law the Congress, and we have to be on top of that also right after that. So I wish all of us much success, and thank you for letting me speak again. Thank you, Moshe. Thank you, Shah.
Very beautiful and well said. We have a couple new people who rotated in as speaker. So if you do want to say anything, just put your hands up and we'll get to you. For now, I'm just going to give everyone a bit of a break for if you want to get up, take a stretch, shake around, maybe get some coffee. In the spirit of, as you said, supporting Israel's right to defend herself, I'm going to play a song and maybe, let's say, about 5 minutes, we'll be playing music. And after that, we'll get back to the hands. All right. Thank you very much. All right. So that song right there was in support of the IDF. They're doing a lot of good work. I saw a lot of Hamas and other militant terrorist groups were surrendering. Love to see it. And hopefully, all of those terrorist networks will be disarmed and the peace process can begin. That being said, we're going to get back to some hands. Let's see. I
real
believe
real
we had.
quickly on real quickly along those lines, if you want to help diffuse this growing urge to be jihadi, make sure that you advertise to the wannabe jihadis in the West that at their source, where they're supposed to be, there these big alpha males, they are crawling out of their holes in the ground in their underwear, ready to surrender. Some of them peeing themselves. These are their beta jihadi that they worship from afar. This is what Hamas is. Anyone that's ever had to stand across from Hamas knows just the cowards they are. Not guessing. So I'm just saying, make sure that the Western world that they like to pretend they're alphas too, that oh well whatever. Just make sure they know that these betas they're seeing right now, this is the true face of Hamas. Okay, sorry, back to hands.
Yep. And that's how it is, uh, engaging earnestly in wanting to build, wanting to have peace and a functioning society. That's the only way forward. So let's see. I believe speakers we had. Let's go in the order of Shaheen, and then let's go to Battlefield, and then Tina.
Durut,
So
durut,
Shaheen.
durut, durut. Good day, everyone. And thank you for being here, all of you, for all the work all of you are doing. A few days ago, when Grok, the AI for X, opened up, one of the first thing I did, um, I put in to roast myself on Grok, has been the tradition. But a couple of things came up very interesting. He made fun of my love for Iranian mythology. But here's something very special that I think it's a very small mention, but it speaks a lot to what is being fed to the information out there in the World Wide Web. It says, as part of the roast, says, and don't even get me started on your Hanukkah tweet. Minutes before this, I had sent in Hanukkah congratulations to some friends. And don't even get me started on your Hanukkah tweet. You're like a walking, talking, tweeting contradiction, a Persian Jewish fusion dish that nobody ordered. Now, this, a lot, this could be considered that, the information in in just X for Grok is not, it is limited, which is not or on the, but it is concerning. I understand this is, it's taking a comedic and tone to the review is doing, but there's always there's a seriousness to every comedy. The fact that is considering, first of all, an Iranian just limits it to Persian, and says that it's funny that Iranian and Jewish would sit together and talk to each other. This is very concerning. So I thought this would be very interesting to everyone here. And if you like, I can share the. I tweeted it. I can share it with you guys.
Oh, very well said. Sorry, I was responding to some tweets. We got some people curious about the music. We will definitely have more music. I think maybe every 15 or so minutes, maybe after every three speakers, we might play a song. But yeah, thank you very much, Shine. It is very important. The AI is kind of, as we saw, you mentioned Grok. AI is also being used for nefarious purposes, as we've seen with a lot of fake imagery being made, sort of to prepare people. I've almost kind of seen it. They're just hitting people nonstop with these AI generated images of tragic scenes, and then they're just sort of waiting until they see optics that look familiar because people have already kind of been coached into this and then feeding it to them. But yeah, people should definitely be invested into using AI for good purposes to sort of counter that. So definitely curious to see more of that. Let's go to Barfile next, and then Tina, and then Ashkan. So Barfile,
Yeah,
speak
hi.
first.
Am I audible?
Go again. If you
Hello.
think you were a little quiet, what were you saying?
Am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yes.
All right. So, hi, namaste, all of you guys. So I'm from India. I'm a Hindu, and so if you know anything about the history of India, so you would know what we understand about the main issue that the two communities here deal with. So first of all, let me just say this to Israel, that from the river to the sea, the Star of David is all I see. Don't stop struggling. Don't ever give up. You guys rock. You guys know what to do with the people, with the kind of animals who did October the 7th. So more power to you guys. And as for the Iranians in the space, because I've been trying to educate myself with the issue for a while about the entire Islamic regime and everything, I would just ask a question instead of opining about things that I clearly don't understand. What good scholars or books are there that I should be reading for the history of the revolution? And if there is just a single source, or if a couple of different sources would be recommended. So I have read some things, but they're mostly from the CIA's perspective, or I should say maybe the communist perspective. Uh, I don't really see anything from the common Iranians' perspective, or maybe I just don't understand that well. I would uh, invite some recommendations. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, of course. And I think that is a very valid thing. A lot of people are wondering about this history because, unfortunately, academia was sort of dominated by unfriendly interpretations. So I've posted here in the space, and just in case anyone else is interested, also pin it up here to the um, screen. So Fall of Heaven is a book that I would highly recommend. I own it. Many of my Iranian diaspora friends own it. Many of my Iranian compatriots back home are very eager to get their hands on a translated PDF of this. So this is basically the only account that I've seen that actually, like you said, got the other side of the story involved, actually spoke to some of the Pahlavi family, spoke to many people that were serving in the Pahlavi government, those that survived, because as we know, there was a purge that occurred. And it is quite eye opening. I think the biggest thing you can kind of get out of that is the perspectives um, of the Shah, more of his sort of vision for Iran, his personality, and what might have been going on in his head when he made some of these decisions. So yeah, I can definitely highly recommend The Fall of Heaven. I think it would be a very eye-opening book to read. Thank you for coming up.
But
Also, just one more comment, if I may. What a banger, dude! What a banger song.
Love it, appreciate it. Hey, stick around if you like the music. I've been getting a lot of comments for the music. We will be playing out another song. Once dear Tina and Ashkan are done speaking, I'll play another song. And the next one is True Solidarity. The next one is a Israeli song sung by a very famous Persian singer. And I'll let you guys guess. For you Iranians here, you can guess who's singing it once we play it out. So let's see. Let's go to Ashkan next, because Tina let me know that she's a little busy at the moment, so she'd like Ashkan to speak first. So Ashkan, all yours.
Thank you. So, it's funny, especially since 10/7, I've done a lot of reading, and already I'm like a layman historian, written books on history stuff. So I would say I know more than the average person, but don't pretend to be an expert. But what I find really fascinating is there's so many people who, whether it's on these spaces or social media, they really just start digging in to whatever position they had before. It's not like, let's say 10/7 happened, and my views are like, I condemn it, horrific thing, barbaric, no questioning that. But I do think objectively, like in 50 years, while it's a turning point, it will be one event in like a struggle that goes back not just 75 years, but like hundreds, if not thousands of years, right? When people look at religion to pit people, against each other, unfortunately. But when people just talk about what they want, whether it's the end of this, the end of this terror group, or regime change, obviously they can't talk about how. Like, how is that going to happen? What's the practical steps? Where they will see possibly a new era in Iran, right? So the only thing I caution people is, by digging in and not trying to find any speck of like empathy to understand the other side. Like, I've talked about anti-Semitism as an atheist Iranian who lives in Canada since he was like 5. I think people see after 10/7 that anti-Semitism is not a figment of their imagination, because you'd expect more sympathy and empathy towards Jews and Israelis with what happened. But when you see these protests where people are chanting horrific things, it's kind of an eye-opener that, okay, anti-Semitism isn't a figment of one's imagination, it's real, and maybe the roots and the causes have changed, but it's almost like a, constant, right? And I'm not saying this as a Iranian, I'm not saying this as a born Muslim, even though I'm atheist, I'm just seeing this as like an observer. I don't necessarily think that this position of just doubling down on your point of view will lead to any change that will be positive or constructive. I think what I've seen is protests are getting stronger, they're getting more frequent. I think, understandably, a lot of Jewish people who maybe were more secular, they've identified more with their Jewish roots and felt the need to kind of be less apologetic about Israel's right to exist or defending themselves and all that, which is understandable. But it's not like, again, I'm like the weatherman telling you it's raining. Don't blame me for the rain. It's not like I see that many people who were, let's say, pro Palestinian changed their point of view, right? So what I try to tell both sides is, if you're just going to double down blindly and not even pick apart or a fine item detail of why this area of the world and is in such a bad position, which seems to be getting worse, not better, then yeah, you're going to get another 75 years of conflict. In fact, you're going to get another hundreds of years of conflict, right? So I think it's great for people to, and yeah, we agree, college kids are always going to do stupid things that they do in college, whether it's drinking too much or doing stupidities. Now it's just saying things that they don't even understand. But my takeaway is that, and I'm just saying, if you want all these things that you're wishing for, it's, you could disagree, again, you're welcome to your opinion, but it's not by really kind of demonizing the other side, you know, like calling any human animal. It doesn't actually get the other side to go, oh, you're right, I need to think differently, I need to change my ways, even though to me, objectively, I'm like, hey, for 75 years, this tactic that you've had, not accepting the two-state solution, hasn't gotten you any closer to statehood, right? So that's the only takeaway, that like every time I listen or I read something, I'm kind of just baffled that people seem to be getting more extreme in their views, no matter what valid reason they can point to. But all it does is it makes this more a mirage. Like, I don't see things getting towards peace. And then to the point of Iran, I mean, look, people benefit from war. You know, there's a famous saying that war is a racket, which was said by Smedley Butler, who's an American general. China isn't going anywhere. Russia isn't going anywhere. So the block of Russia, China supporting Iran, well, that's going to embolden Iran to not change. Doesn't mean it makes me happy, but it's not like anything's happened since 10/7 that is going to lead us closer to a peaceful reality. It's just, frankly, it's just two sides that both have dirty, you know, lack clean hands. Let's not say have dirty hands, and who have played a role in this mess being what it is. They're just getting more extreme, you know, and you could kill mid-level capos in Hamas, even if you get rid of the Four Seasons in Qatar, wherever the head of Hamas is. It doesn't change anything. It'll just be another more extreme ideology, the same way that Taliban, Al Qaeda, ISIS, and Hamas were just a result of something that happened that led a more extreme version of the previous thing, right? So my only, as an observer, is what I'm seeing on both sides is not really constructive. It's just leading us towards a more messy, more extreme, more polar kind of state, basically.
Definitely appreciate your thoughts. Understand what you're saying. I was just gonna see. I know Tina was waiting. I don't know if she's available yet. Are you there, Tina? Okay, Tina's up.
Hi guys, fantastic. Thank you for the microphone. Thanks, Moshe. Thanks, dear Sarah June, ShahsMan. Really nice Sunday space, chill a bit, and also the title, Solidarity. I like that. I love it actually. And Cyrus Accords. So you were asking before when Sina also talked about what our Israeli friends they can do for us Iranians to support our revolution to get rid of the Islamic Republic regime. And I like also to emphasize it's the Islamic Republic regime. It's the regime. It's the Islamic regime because we Iranians we're actually a bit sensitive on that. When people say Iran, I know most of them they don't mean it. But we like to emphasize on it and repeat it. So Islamic Republic has taken our country hostage, and we are not Islamic Republic. We are Iran. We Iranians are the one who want Cyrus Accords. And so long term, what you can do for us, it's actually like what we are fighting for to get rid of the regime is for a long-term solution for our country, for ourselves, to get rid of this evil regime. But I think we have also not only this enemy in common with Israel, let alone our historical bond that we do have Jewish people and Iranians, but also we both are really, really interested in a long-term solution and something lasting for the Middle East, and not only like a short-term whatever. Like Middle East has been on fire for years, and not maybe since Islamic Republic regime took over Iran. So when we talk about that, I like to, Sinajun said, listen to Crown Princess Pahlavi's words and support him. I agree totally to that. But I like also to point out all of you people who are here. I know many of you, you've been here for a longer time on social media, also offline, working, whatever you've done, like Sarah June with Massa Act, she's been doing amazing, really. I mean, I follow her work, but also others of you going on demonstrations and so on, and writing to your politicians in whichever country you are. Important is, most of you may know that Islamic Republic is not only in Iran, but they do have their octopus arms, we call them, as our crown prince calls it, abroad. So they have media. You Israelis know it the best. Our Jewish friends, they know best. They know which propaganda has been against them all last years. One of them, like BBC, we've been calling BBC for a long time Mullah BBC. So they are Islamic Republic, and when you listen to them, every time an uprising has taken place in Iran, they try to like do as if not, and said, "Oh no, don't listen to it." Like people in Iran, they know exactly what they like and not, and there is a democracy there, and they do it by themselves, and we don't need to do anything. We don't need to echo their voices. And on the other side, they have always been anti Semitic, always been against Jewish folks and against Israel. So BBC belongs to the Islamic Republic. And I really like to emphasize that it's not only BBC, it is not only the media that Islamic Republic tries to control as much as they can, but also they have their figures outside of Iran, acting as activists, acting as journalists, acting as opposition figures. When we look at Hamed Esmailion, when we look at Masih Alinejad, all of those people, they have some kind of regime connections. And there is a video even from Masih Alinejad where she explained clearly from her time when she lived in Iran and she was trained by the Islamic Republic regime to become a journalist. And then she explains in a video clearly, I tweeted it, that how they trained them to behave as opposition and fake opposition, to do the bad cop and good cop thing, to really, like, yeah, it's truly hard for us Iranians, especially because you really then don't know whom you trust. There are so many figures. I initially thought, like Hamed Esmailion, he lost his family. So when we saw his clips and his story, we cried for him. But then when you find out, oh my God, so why is he anti-Semitic? Why does he do these things? And you find out, okay, there are, like, he did his movie with the owner of the first TV program in Iran from the Islamic Republic regime. So why would you do a film about that flight where you lost your family with the owner of the television network in Iran from Ali Khamenei? So this contradicts each other. So you can't be against the regime then. And this all comes to that point that the Islamic Republic does not only exist in Iran, but also outside of Iran. And I like to tell every one of you, non-Iranians, please be careful. There are so many voices who claim to be for the Iranian nation, but the Islamic Republic regime, they do have their media, they have their activists, they have the journalists. One of them, like Narges Mohammadi, who just got a Nobel Prize. And unfortunately, they get so much support from the leftist media, from leftist activists. And then for non-Iranians, it is difficult to distinguish. But please be careful and know that the true Iranian nation that does the revolution They do not trust many people, and the only person whom they really trust is Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi. I do not want advocate more for monarchy. This is really just only a matter of trust. I like to only point out that truly Iranian nation doesn't trust anyone else. And if you look at our Iranian culture, why we survived that propaganda of the Islamic Republic regime, the same propaganda maybe that the Palestinians been receiving all those 45 years. But then you see Palestinians being mostly against Israel and against Jewish people, but Iranians not. It is because of our Iranian history and culture, because we stick to that is the one that kept us actually alive, surviving the Islamic Republic. And this is like the history of Cyrus the Great, and that's why we call our crown prince as a Pahlavi the Cyrus of today, because his father, my parents went to school during Shah's time. And when I was brought up as a kid and they had Israeli friends, I didn't even know that so much anti-Semitism existed in this world. But it is because we Iranians, we really had our history. We learned through Cyrus the Great. Like our Shah time, Pahlavi time, the modern Iranian culture taught our parents and grandparents that Israel is not an enemy, that our Jewish compatriots, they are compatriots as any other compatriots. So this is normal for us, and that's why that is our culture. Please believe it, and please support that, and be careful with anyone who claims to be against Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, and against this is actually being against the Iranian culture, and those people cannot be friends of the Israeli nation. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you very much. Thank you for your great space, ShahsMan. Really looking forward to listen to your next song. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you, Tina. I just wanted to add, for people that don't realize this, ahead of the, it's not even a revolution, ahead of the occupation of the Islamic Republic, just to the point about BBC, BBC was airing the propaganda for Khamenei before they took over. Like, they were basically the lead-in propaganda machine for the Islamic Republic. For people that don't know that, I mean, most people understand, like most Israelis, most Jews understand what BBC is now, but it's very important to know that BBC was always, even before the Islamic Republic was officially a thing, was always the propaganda arm internationally for the Islamic Republic. They were the broadcast platform for creating that. And then, honestly, if you're Israeli, Jewish, like, one of the things that I think we talk about a lot is just the similarities in culture, not just the connections historically going back to Cyrus the Great, but the similarities. Like when you listen to Tina talk about how holding on to culture and identity is what allows the Iranian people to survive through, you know, the Islamic Republic. And it's very relatable if you're Jewish, like all the different diaspora things that have happened in Europe and in the Middle East and everything else. And the one thing that you always find is the reason that the identity survived was the culture was always very ingrained in who we were, wherever we were. And so it's just very relatable and just another thing that connects our people.
Very well said, Moshe. I see we got a couple more people come up to the speaker panel. If you do want to say something, put your hand up. Otherwise, if your hand is down and we do get more requests, we might rotate you out. But before that, the order I had was Mote, Mehran, and then I believe it was Ofer and you two. But before that, write your spots down. We'll get to. But first, as I said, I'm going to play another song out of the playlist. This is an Israeli song sung by an Iranian artist. So let's get that. Everyone, have a couple 4 minutes. Rest, relax, refill your coffee, and then we'll get back to the discussion. All right. So,
were we taking guesses on who the singer was? Because I'm going to need some
let's start
Iranians.
taking guesses. We got, first of all, does anyone know the song?
Nico must know because he's always peeking over your shoulder.
Yeah, that's right, Nico. Activate your binoculars. Who is that?
I
Full
am
display.
Nico right now is doing some dishes.
Nico, you got a whole dishwasher up in that
You
tree?
know what? I'm having a long day, brother. I feel like crying.
All right, Nico. We'll let you get back to crying into your dishes. Before I spoil it, anyone else got a guess? Does anyone recognize that voice?
Rita, was it Rita?
No, no. It was Leila Furohar. She was singing Hava Nigala, famous Israeli song. Very, very beautiful. It's in the playlist I shared here earlier in the space. So yeah, guys, let's get back to it. I mean, we've hit a lot. We've hit, kind of talking about that terror network that the Islamic Republic, as Tina said, it's the Islamic Republic, nothing Iranian about it. Supports, we've talked about Iranians in diaspora showing solidarity in these protests. We've talked about what people can do to help support. And we've also gone on to talk about Massa Act. We've talked about even The Fall of Heaven, a great book that people can read if they want a fresh perspective on the revolution that ushered in this, Islamic Republic. I don't call it a revolution. I call it a coup because that's what I think it was. That being said, we had quite a few speakers up here. Let's see, we got some hands. Let's go. I believe, Monte, you were the next speaker. I see your hand is down now. Did you still want to speak?
Yeah, I just answered you about the singer.
Oh,
Okay,
exactly.
so yeah. So hi, Durut, Shalom to everybody. Um, I'm so glad that you have this space. Um, I have another space to go after this. And we have my friends at the Cyrus the Great Institute. They have the space about the Save Iran Week or something like that. That it's the liberation of the Azerbaijan with the young Shah. Um, and Nico, your your mic is blocked. Okay. So this the spaces or talking about the solidarity, it's very important. It comes from the roots of Iranian culture. Um, we had the history of people living together without discrimination of what ethnicity they're from, what religion they have. They were treated as Iranians. We have the tablets that it's found in Shiraz, around the Cyrus the Great home. We had the Parse that Alexander came and burned it out. This palace is called Takht Jamshid. And all these tablets that not long ago used to be kept in Chicago, the university, it says that the Iranians didn't have a slave to build the palaces. They paid them um, their, um, you know, the women, if they pregnant, they had the maternity leave. And this is 2,500 years ago. The tablets don't lie. So we have Esther and we have Mordecai. We have the queen of Iran, the Xerxes queen. We had all this relationship with other people in the universe. Um, so when it comes to the social issues, it comes to the social matters that if we don't show what we believe, if we don't show what we stand for, what are we good for? One of the um, issues or matters that will keep the democracy growing is you stand up against something that against is your belief. So discrimination against we have this in job applications in U.S., right? Discrimination against your origin, against sex, against ethnicity. We have all these, and if you believe in those believe in humanity, then you have to stand up for something that destroying and against those beliefs that keep democracy growing. And one of these is Islamist ideology that put the discrimination in the middle of everything. So people are divided by the religion, people divided by ethnicity. This is not Iranian. We live together as Baluch, Kurd, uh, even the speaking Arabs in the south, from the ancient um, province, pretty much, Cyrus the Great came from, which is, it is Shush, Shushtar. So we have this, and this is the Islamic ideology that will put the difference between you and your neighbor, because what it's based on what you believe, based on what you came from. It's not based on as a human, as a citizen. So this is the problem. This is the problem. So if we don't have no idea that what are we going to do, Israel is doing that, Israel is doing that. I've seen that. I've seen that kids are under the rubbles, crying, getting hurt, right? But I don't see it. We have the experience to see that it's not Israel. It's Islamic ideology from Hamas, from Islamic Republic that does that. So what I think is, if you open your eyes and look at this matter as a ideology that wants to destroy you, that wants to take everything from you and replace it with discrimination and um, violence. That's why we have solidarity with people, solidarity with Israel. On September 24, 22, last year, I had a couple of hours of the Clubhouse panel with Emily Schrader. She went to interview King Reza Pahlavi a couple of weeks after that. So she wanted to get some kind of idea in Iranian community, monarchist, and what they believe and how they do it. So, what do you think um, my friends of friends of friends of Emily came and they found a safe room in Clubhouse that, hey, we she's the Jerusalem Post journalist. She wants to come to me and we have a room. I don't know, a couple of hours. So why? Why? It's very important. So it's not. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about the people that stand up against the ideology that destroying a country, destroying my country, right? So we still have anti-Semitic people. We still have anti-Semitic um, monarchists that they look at it as, well, Israel this, Israel that. No, if we showed in 1980 that our country got invaded by Iraq. We all got together, even though the Islamic Republic just is trying to establish itself, but people responded to the invasion of the country. So I look at it this way: that Israel and fighting with Arabs. I look at it this way: if Arabs really wanted to, and they're crying for a land, they tried. They couldn't do it. Just learn to live the peace together. That's it. We have Native Americans that they fought, and then finally they uh, come together peacefully, and then the country start to having improvements, start to having building the foundation of a democracy that we have today. So why Arabs can do that in Israel? They are doing the way of democracy. They're not doing it the way of a Jewish state. I've seen that, and I know it. So Iranians, let me put this together and I finish. Iranians as a nation.
as one of the first state nations that we had more than 2,000 years ago. We stand with the people that they are getting discriminated. We stand with the people that they are getting violence against them because what they are. You can just kill Jews and then you say, well, I kill you because you're Jew. So Iranians stand with Israel, the only democracy in Middle East, and I've seen Israelis doing the same thing, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I see the Israeli influencers that they support an Iranian cause. They have the King Reza Pahlavi interviews, and they support an Iranian cause with the flag of the lion and sun. This is very important, and I just want to say thank you to Israeli influencers that they doing that. Thank you, Moshe. Your support, love it, and you have a wonderful Sunday. Thanks so much.
I'm always happy to support my brother, anytime and every time.
Yep, Monte, you said it pretty well. There are about 2 million Arabs who are Israelis. They get full citizenship. They're eligible to serve in the IDF if they want to. Many of them serve in the political class. You know, they're on the Supreme Court. They're integrated. They're living a life. They're prospering. So really, there's no sort of and many, you know, the vast majority of those are most likely Muslims. Um, so yeah, this whole issue is really one of there's a certain brand of certain ideology of misusing some theological aspects to kind of form this own radicalism that is sort of being perpetuated by foreign state actors like the Islamic Republic occupying our homeland of Iran. So you said it really well. Thank you for that. You're always welcome here. Let's see. Mehran, I know you're next, but I saw, you know, I want to kind of, when we have a lot of speakers, I might start switching it up just to go from one Iranian voice to next an Israeli voice. So if you don't mind, I'm going to ask Ofer. I saw you had your hand up earlier. If you did have anything you still wanted to say, please feel free. We'll let you speak first.
I speak it first.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Okay. I want to share something that I saw. It's not about Iran and Israel. It's a bit okay here or not? Uh, about something that one soldier wrote in his before he died. That's something amazing. It's can I share it here or not?
Yeah. Yes, please. Please do.
Okay. He says he died from the in the fight, and after that post is it's will. I don't think will. It says that not I am in good place. Don't cry on me. Be happy. Um, he says that he go to fight. He didn't give an order from the army to fight. Is not ordinary soldier. He volunteered to fight and go to fight. And if I die, or if I get captured like a hostage, don't become for me and don't pay by Hamas or as something else to get me out. If you they take me, don't release me in any price. That's the soldiers we have. That's what the soldier we have in Israel. It's something amazing. That someone said this. And to Iran here, I want to ask about we get the in the Jewish that Mordechai and Esther wrote. Mordechai was a leader in Iran. It's wrote in your history, and that's all.
Thank you, Ofer. That is very beautiful what you shared. And honestly, what came to my mind was through this advocacy, I actually learned the story of another soldier, a veteran, who was actually not Israeli or Iranian. He was American. There was this veteran named Michael White who was in Iran visiting and was unfortunately unjustly detained by the Islamic Republic. And a similar thing that I heard from that story was he, when captured, said, please do not negotiate any ransom money for me. Don't give them a dime for me because I know this only encourages more of that. So it really kind of, Michael White has supported a lot of trying to get other Iranians unjustly detained. The person who helped him when he was in there, I believe it was his cellmate, he actually helped get him out of Iran recently. And likewise, he's also been very involved with Massa Act advocacy. So, just beautifully like that, all sorts of these stories are threaded together with good people doing good things. So thank you for sharing that. Um, I don't want to mess up the hands order too much. Meron, you're our next speaker, but we have Alex, our good buddy, who's always in his little submarine here. So while he still has while he's still here with us, Alex, just say a quick hi to everyone in the room. Let everyone know what's going up, and then we'll go back to the hands order. We'll let Meron uh, speak a nice, good, long time, as well as you two, for the next hands in the order. But yeah, Alex, anything you want to say real quick?
I swear, every time you say submarine, I got to get my sailor's hat because every time when I speak, I feel like with my headphones in, I have to be in the submarine. So, no, good afternoon. It's good to be here. I just woke up. I think I missed a whole lot, so I feel very embarrassed. But I want to say that I'm very proud of you, ShahsMan and Sarah, and I see the Israeli brothers and sisters who are in here, Moshe and so many others. It's a beautiful time. There's a lot of crap going on Twitter right now. So I just I had to see what was going on. But no, I'll be very frank. There's a pivotal swing happening in this world, and quote unquote, I always tell people you got to be on the right side of history. If you're not on the right side of history, then you're on the side of anti-Semitism, and you're on the side of the most disgusting massacre that took place since 9/11. And I think that anybody who denies that clearly is deranged and has a actual mental incapacity to really defer from the truth. And the truth of the matter is, Israel has every right to defend themselves, and they have every right to attack terrorists who are so barbaric that they made ISIS literally look like angels compared to what these bastards did. I was in a space a few days ago. I was in Nelson's space for the first time, and I literally said what I said. I said these terrorists have made Islam a religion of genocide. And I was very angry when I said that, but there are good Muslims out there. But I said that because we have a regime, and my Iranian brothers, sisters know this very well. We have a regime that we've been fighting with for 44 years that has used Islam to literally dictate rape and mass executions. And even when the war started on October 7th, and nobody's knowing what's going on. It's been so quiet, but they are literally killing our own young future Iranians inside our own country. And the only people who's been speaking up is our Israeli brothers and sisters. And the fact that what they went through October 7th, they understand exactly. And again, I'll say it again. They're the only country that recognized His Majesty, the only country that brought Shahzadeh into Israel just before this end of summer in August. So again, I'll say that very openly. I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not politically correct, but I will put that out there. And if for anybody who's not Iranian, who's not Israeli, who does listen to this, know that our two communities are tied all the way back to Cyrus the Great. And where I stay at, they just built a statue in honor of him. And I just went yesterday to that beautiful museum. And I encourage every Iranian who hasn't gone to Atlanta to go and see that statue. It literally brought me to tears because our founder literally freed the Jewish people out of captivity and hostility from the Babylonians. So anyways, that's what I wanted to say. And Shazma, I'll bring it back to you. I do have a space tonight. I have a very good guest with Miss Goldie, a Canadian MP. So I encourage everybody to come to that tonight. It'll be at 8 o'clock Eastern. I was able to finally meet her and hear her speak. She was the one Iranian that stood head to toe with these Hamas supporters and these genocide deniers. So I encourage everybody to come in. And yeah, back to you, my friend. And the submarine needed a little boost because I was asleep. But to my Israeli brothers and sisters, I tell you this openly: I love you from the heart. We're gonna keep fighting for you guys, and if you feel like you're backed up in a corner, or if you feel like right now, where are the people? Just know the Iranian nation, Iranian stand with Israel has always been. It's still trending. We're behind you. I'm behind you. I don't speak for Iranians, but we are behind you, and no one is gonna deny what happened on October 7th. And again, our revolution is still going strong. When people say, "Oh, it's calmed down," or "Oh, everything's quiet," no, that's bullshit. People are still coming out. It's just right now, civil disobedience is what His Majesty said, and that is what's happening. They arrested a man just in the city of Rash for dancing. Every Iranian's doing dance videos. That's what I'm talking about. The revolution's still strong. But anyways, back to you, my friend. I'll be here for a little bit. I do got to catch up on my team. Hopefully not losing today, but I just woke. I wanted to come here and just give my support to my Israeli brothers and sisters, and of course my community. Thank you so much, Shaz, man. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Alex. Yeah, so let's if you have a link to your space, be sure to post it here. I'll post it up in the Jumbotron. Everyone can go have their dinner, go get some cholo kebab if they want to eat that Iranian food. Moshe can tell us a good Israeli dish, and then after everyone gets their din din, they can listen into your space for that rest and digest. Let's go, and that's great. Goldie's been a really strong voice. I've been loving everything she says. We definitely need to be out here supporting her to make sure that she's able to continue to be a voice of reason. Let's see if anyone's up on the speaker panel. They do have some more thoughts they want to share, or they think they're going to have some spicy things to share with us, or some great solidarity. Please put your hand up, just because we sometimes we're getting close to our speaker limit. We might cycle people out otherwise. Without further ado, let's get back to Mehran, and then you two, and then next will be Esther. So Mehran, it's up to you.
Thank you, ShahsMan. Yes, I waited for a long time. I'm joking with you. You're a good host. You're a good host. Thanks for the space. There's a lot of things to cover. I feel like everybody had so much ranges of topic to talk about, from the Shah, from the alliance, from the history between the Jews and the Iranians. It's weird how October 7th put me personally in a position where I have to defend Jews, and I'm not even Jewish myself, but I'm losing friends, which are not even my friends anymore, because I defend the Jewish people and the Israeli people, and it's disgusting. You know what? It's something disgusting. These are not my friends to begin with. If you're anti-Semitic and you support Palestine and you support Hamas, if you say Hamas is a resistance, or you say they're freedom fighters or whatsoever, well, I don't want to. I don't want to be your friend, first of all. And I was asked these people, asked everybody, do you support the financial and the training of Hamas? And they're like, who are they? I'm like, well, you're an idiot, because it's Islamic Republic that supports them and trains them and uses Iranian money. I'm an Iranian citizen. They use my money to support a terrorist organization. And they act surprised, like, oh, that's not what I'm trying to be. Well, if you're supporting Hamas and you support the funder, the financial, you support my killing of my people as well. So, this connection goes a long way in the Middle East. Has a lot of connection. It's not just between Palestinians and Israeli. It's a lot of connection, a lot of hands in this dirty conflict, right? And I've been I've been non-following all these friends, whoever, who are supporting Palestine. I don't want them to be in my life. I don't want them to say genocide rants or propaganda or bullshit. I talk to a lot of Arabs, they like to be with Islamic Republic. They deep down they like to cheer them and cheer them on when they oppress the Iranians. They just want to do that because they don't want Iran to be secular and free. Because it loses their support of their terrorist organization, Hezbollah, Hamas, Islamic Jihad, all the stuff all across, even Houthis in Yemen. So I don't support any Muslim cause anymore. I'm done with their bullshit. I'm done with any Arab cause too, because all they do is fight with themselves, and they always hate against Iranians and Jews. I don't want that. The Jewish people have been connection with Iran for 2,500 years, since Cyrus, since Cruz, since Queen Easter, to the Iranian ambassador in Paris when they saved 2,000 Jews when he was giving passports to them in Paris, and and then still the Jewish community in Iran plays a big role and contributes to society before 1979. So I don't have any problems with Jews. They are a part of Iranian identity. So if I go against Israel, it go as I'm against my own people, my own connection. Arabs, I always tell Iranians about this because Iranians are a little weird about the stand because they don't know. Oh my gosh, I got to support the Palestinians and I'm gonna support the people of Iran. No, it doesn't go hand to hand with this. These Palestinians are using us as an ATM. They're making fun of us. They're calling the Persian Gulf as something else. They want us to be oppressed. They want us to be feel little because they wanted to use our money. So I always tell Iranians, why are you supporting Palestinians? You can be neutral. If you want to be neutral, be neutral. But if you want to be supporting the right cause, support Israel and support the Jewish people because they've been defending themselves for 1947 since every war they've been attacked, and they defend themselves all the time. And then I always tell them, where do the Jews got to go then? And I always ask this question to everybody: if you want to push them out, where do you want to go? Where you want to go? Do you want them to go to Madagascar, Siberia? No, they can't go. I always tell people in Torah, in the Torah, in the Bible, Israel is the homeland of Jewish land. It was a king. The kingdom of Judea was there, and Palestine was never been a country. It was just a geography name. A lot of brainwash, a lot of propaganda has happened, especially to BBC, or as Tina said, what Ashama said, is a lot of bullshit propaganda. I hate it. It disgusts me when Iranians are falling for this, and they fell for the left. And then the Shah said this in 1975 in an interview. The black and the red alliance is a disgusting combination. They put it together right now, and right now Iranians just they don't know what to say, what to do. Well, there's proof in Iran when in the soccer stadiums, it happened in Shiraz, it happened in Tehran, that when they say shove that Palestinian flag up your ass, what does that mean? When people say death to Palestine in Tehran last year, what does that mean? When people stomp on Palestinian street, the sign, what does that mean? We're with the Jewish people and we're against Palestine. We don't want our money to spend on them. And then to the Israeli friends and whoever we listen to, I support you guys. You know why? Because it's you've been there. You give them so many peace to those Palestinians. More than a handful of times, you try to coexist with them, but they cannot coexist with you guys. That's one topic. My second topic is that the only opposition leader in Iran is the prince, and there's only opposition. No one else is valid. No one else is legit. Everyone is a fraud, fake, and I just don't trust anybody anymore. Only the prince is my opposition. As a constitutional monarchist, I want him to be the moderator for the transactional government. I don't want if he doesn't want to be a king, that's okay. But I just want him to be be the agent to lead us to be a free, secular Iran, right? If the people of Iran wanted to be a republic, constitutional, that's later on. Right now, I want a referendum, and then when we're this. That's where I want Iran to go forward, right? And going forward for this is that I'm always in protests, and I'm always against the Palestinians. I'm always fighting behalf of Israel. I don't care. I'll speak facts. I'll say things. I will hold on to this hell. If I lose friends, if I make enemies, I don't care. I know where I stand, and I have to tell you guys that Israeli representative of United Nations in September had a poster saying freedom for Masa Amini during the time when the president of Iran, Ibrahim Raisi, was talking. Which country did that? No country has ever done that. No country actually has so much support for Iranian people, right? And Israel has been doing that all the time. So, and they have a statue. They have a street name called Krush in Israel. I don't know which city. I think it's Jerusalem or Tel Aviv. I don't know which one. But in Palestine, they have a statue of Saddam Hussein. So pick your sides, guys. Pick your to all the Iranians. Pick your sides. You want to pick a side with the Palestinian supporter Saddam Hussein, who actually cheered them on, who actually use Saddam Hussein as a hero. You want to be with them, or you want to be with the people that was supported us, the people, and we have 200,000 Iranians in Israel of the citizens. Why you want to get your own people like this? I get feel so disgusted at Iranians in the West. I feel they're out of touch and they don't know what's happening in Iran.
All
That's
right,
my
Maran, can you
yeah.
give us the landing remarks, and then we'll move on to next hands.
Say that again. Sorry, say that again.
Last remarks. I just
Last
want to
remarks is that Iranians will always stand with Israel, and this revolution never dies out. At what Alex said, the revolution has stages, and the revolution is not like a 1 month like a Romanian revolution 1989. Revolution might take a year or 2 years, but right now Iranians are doing things like now we're in the hijab, not we're dancing, things that little things that we take so granted in the world. In Iran, people they're afraid. The government is afraid right now because we're intelligent, educated people, and we're not allowing them to control lives. Shazman, thank you for the space. I'm gonna stop talking right there.
All
I,
right.
I was actually
Uh,
enjoying it. I was gonna let you talk for another hour.
And listen,
So
I could mushy. I could talk all day. I could speak all day, but I have a lot of things to say to you about everything, especially Iranians and Israelis, but more specifically Iranians in the West and Iranians inside. I just like to. I try to put. I'll go out of my way to educate Iranians. If you're not Iranian, I don't give two shits about you. But even my own family member had a free Palestine in their bio. I called them right away. I'm like, don't ever put that. You're not my family member to do that. But you're
Okay. So,
I have a new best
Shadman,
friend.
can I add something pretty quick, like less than a minute? Is that okay?
yeah. One second. Let me first before I go to no hands. I'll just say So yeah, we're gonna we got a few more hands. Monte, you're gonna add something right after I do. I just want to say we're coming near the end of the space, so for remaining hands, let's try to keep remarks to about 3 minutes as the target, if possible. This will let us get through what everyone else has to share. And yeah, let's remember that it's about like a Islamist terror ideology. It's not necessarily tied to any specific ethnicity or religion. Because when we talk about Israeli solidarity, when we see what the Israeli people are doing, the Israeli government, we have to remember those Israeli people are made up of 2 million predominantly Muslim Arabs as well, and that many of their politicians supporting us likewise. So the Israeli government has constituents of that. So that's part of it as well. So we gotta always keep that in focus. Let's be precise in our language. Let's call it out for what it is. It's the Islamist network of the Islamic Republic occupied Iran. But yes, that's just why I want to add a little bit. Monte, if you want to add, and then we'll get through the rest of the hands with the request for 3 minutes on everyone's speaking, and then we'll close out the space with a couple more songs.
Okay. So December 15, 1925. It's 99th year, I believe. Uh, Next year it would be 100th anniversary of King Reza Pahlavi, the Great. So this was the end of the kings to gather the troops and go and conquer the country, and they say, okay, I'm the king now. This was the end of it. He was elected in a Congress by constitution movement that we have, constitution revolution that we have years before that. So if King Reza Pahlavi now is saying that let's let people decide, that's not that he doesn't want to be a king. It's not that. He wants to go what his grandfather did, and he wants to end the fight between Iranians. He doesn't want to have another revolution or something happen 25, 30 years ago. Right now, these lefties wing people, they ask him to resign. Resign of what? The king. That's all I want to ask. I want to thank you and say bye. I got to go to the other space. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And have a wonderful Sunday.
Thank you. And yeah, if you have a link to that space, it's an interesting topic. Some of our listeners here might like to go, especially since we have a couple of related spaces, and we'll be looking to wrap this one up hopefully in the next 30 minutes or so. Thank you very much, Monte. So let's see, I believe you two, you were next, then we'll go to Esther, and then we'll go to Alex. And we are requesting we'll be watching the clock at 3 minutes. I'll give everyone a warning about the last 30 seconds so they can wrap up their remarks. So that without further ado, you two, you've been very patient. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Shalom, Durud. It is what I'm going to talk about is about a reality. We need Israel and Europe, American, be our voice in a way to stop these politicians still behind the doors paying money and supporting terrorists. This is our most important point. Why, after they see what a crime is going on in Iran, what has happened in Israel, and still they make deals with terrorists, this is a shame. And they call it something like democracy made by Biden, Obama, Hillary Clinton. This is a shame. The other shame is Germany and France. Are we living still in Hitler time? Are we still making like, okay, they killed some people and we're gonna plan for Iran? No, we want the people to wake up, be our voice. Our only choice is our King Reza Pahlavi. We have no other clones they are presenting to us. These lefties, each of them in Europe, which are really from the worst terrorist families, and they talk about war and crime and against Israel. And they come to a space and say, oh, we didn't kill enough. We still have to kill more in Iran and Israel. It's a shame. And then they roll the red carpet in UN. The only ambassador I have respect for him left the Saal was Israeli ambassador, and I thank him until today. My God, what he has done. I love him. The other thing, the shame is, they invite the murderers, the organizations, the people who are giving hand to mullahs to be their clowns in Europe and Scandinavian. They roll the next carpet. Please welcome your Nobel Prize. What a shame. What is this Nobel Prize? Didn't they have enough scandals in with Me Too and how you can buy them to choose and write them a receipt from Islamic Republic terrorist system who should get the Nobel Prize? What a shame. So, and still Israel and Iran will have lot of sleepless nights
30,
because
30
Germany.
seconds, Mark. Just well, then 30 more seconds, and then so please
Yeah,
wrap up.
I
Thank
will be finished soon. My last word is, so long the person from Mullahs, Adnan Tabatabai, is sitting in power in Germany, there will be only sleepless nights in Israel and Iran. We have to fight to bring him down. What the hell a terrorist son is doing in politics in Germany, and why they just allowed him to have such a position and get every year 500,000 to write recept how they destroy Israel today. It's his plans. Why we have to wake up? We have to be a harder voice and louder voice. Germany doesn't want to give up. They are hanging on this terrorist regime, and this is a shame. We are not living in Hitler time. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much,
I
Nico, for
literally
the
beat the
bell.
bell.
But yeah, thank you, you two. It's a good thing to say. And yeah, I think uh, bringing up UN and ambassador as very good. So let's see. I believe
I just
Esther.
want to say Nico's no shirt all bell.
I don't even know if that was a bell. Nico might have just flexed his peck and it makes that sound. I've heard. All right. Esther, you're up next, and then after you speak, I'll play another song just to get us all ready. After Alex speaks, we'll play out a couple more songs and wrap up the
Hey,
space. Very productive.
you guys are bullying me today.
We're billing you every day. What are you talking about? All right, Esther. Please go ahead. Floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I'm here from Jerusalem speaking to you. It's such my pleasure. I don't know. I just have such a, not, I don't know. My name is Esther. I have such a love for Persian people, Iranian people, very, very deep love. And I'd like if I could start with my 3 minutes just to read a very, very beautiful poem, which I know Iranian people love poems, actually written by Queen Esther. And she has a book. The book is called Queen Esther, and it's actually 3,000 years old, written by her. She was a very powerful woman. If anyone doesn't know, she was married to, I always say the name in Hebrew, if someone can help me, Ahashverosh. How do you say it in Persian? Anyone?
Kurosh?
Not
Is that?
Kurosh. No, Hashashverosh. How do you say? I say Achashverosh. That's the Hebrew way of saying it. We say it that way. Does anyone know how to say it?
How do you spell it? If you could give a spelling.
We say Achashverosh, but it's probably I've said it to other people in the room who might be in the audience, but I'll say so. She was married to the king, and through her, she was the queen of Persia, and Shushan is where she
بگو
was
دوباره چی؟
living. The point is, I want to read.
خشایارشا, guys. Just know.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, thank you so much. Okay, so this is what it was. This is part of what she wrote in her book. 3,000, I guess about 3,000. Yeah, 3,000 years ago. We go back 3,000 years, just so you know, not 2,000. We go back 3,000 years with the Persians, the Jews and the Persians. Okay, Esther said in 417, no matter how bleak something may look, salvation could be just around the corner. The creator, the source we call Hashem, can change everything in the blink of an eye. And I want to tell you, this quote teaches us to always have hope. Redemption can come at any moment. Never, never, never give up. And that is the Queen of Persia, who had to admit to the king when he fell in love with her and was going to destroy or genocide, which is very pertinent today. There's never coincidences, never in the world. This rearing its head of evil came up again, and Esther had to admit to the king who had loved and fallen in love with her, that she is a Jew, and the evil Haman, who was his second in command, wanted to genocide the Jews, and she had to come forth and tell him, "You can't do that. Those are my people." And he loved her so much, and he said he would never do such a thing to her people. And he ended up hanging Haman because he realized Haman was up to no good. And here we are again. And King Cyrus would be so proud of you all. I love seeing the people of Iran running around with their flags with Israelis and Jews, and we're so united. And there's no such thing as, again, coincidences. This is all history repeating itself. And like you said, whoever was speaking, I think it was Maharan, that if you're an Alex, I've heard Alex in other spaces. If you want to be on the right side of history, you stand with the children of King Cyrus the Great. I, as a Jew, have always been raised learning about King Cyrus, and I want you to know he wasn't just a king. He was literally called a Mashiach, an anointed king. He was one of the greatest, and we are always raised knowing that. And in the end, the good always wins. The best always comes to the top. And I just want to send my love to all of you and never give up. We stand together, and this is their greatest fear. This is why they put a wedge between Israel and Iran, because they know the power of our nations would make such an impact that they wouldn't be able to exploit and use and gain their power and make money off of us. So when we unite, we will correct all the evils. Never ever give up. Sending love to all of you. Thank you so much.
If I could add to Esther's point, right? A lot of people forget that there's over 10 million people, Iranians, more than 10 million Iranians in the diaspora. More than 80 million Iranians who are oppressed. Okay, we all support Israel, and the opposition, the Hamas terrorists, the Houthi terrorists, the Islamic jihadist terrorists, all these terror organizations and the sympathizers and their apologists and all that, they're afraid for unity, right? That's what they're afraid of. And this is not something that just happened, that we have unity overnight or a month ago. Thousands of years, right? When the Iranian Revolution happened, 1979, there was a lot of Jews coming out of Iran who came to U.S. You go to New York, there's Iranian Jews all over the place. Go to Cali, all over the place. Texas, Florida.
They call
This
it
is nothing new.
Taharangelis.
Exactly. So they're afraid. They know the opposition. The more unity Jews and Israelis have with Iran, again, numbers don't lie. 80 million voices are suppressed. They're afraid of that. With the unity with Israel and Jews. More than 10 million people in the diaspora who are Iranians, they're afraid of the unity with Israel and Jews. And guess what? It'll just get stronger.
Well said, well said. I especially like you brought up Esther, the story of your namesake, Queen Esther, because that is sometimes the Islamic Republic likes to dig into our history to try to find things to divide us. And while the story of Queen Esther is one of Iranians staying true to their values of being a multicultural, multi ethnic, multi religious society, some people like to sometimes twist it and the associated holiday of Purim sometimes. So I like exactly what you focused on, which is that the advisor Hamun was evil, was advocating for the mass slaughter, which was entirely in opposition to what King Cyrus the Great, like you said, the only non-Jewish Messiah. He's recognized in all Abrahamic faiths as
Wow, you
literally
know that? I can't believe it. It's amazing. He was. He was the only non-Jew called a Messiah. Oh my God, it's amazing. And I just want you to know, like I have visions that I know I'm gonna dance with you all at the grave of King Cyrus and Esther and Mordecai, and we're all gonna drink Shiraz wine and we're gonna dance together. Never give up. Have the vision. Never, never give up. We love you so much.
100%. And that's exactly what the space is about, getting those connections. Because yes, I do know that, I'm proud of it, and I like to say that Iranians were some of the first Zionists because of that. All that being said, I'm going to play out another
Factual.
song, and then we're going to get through some more hands. We'll probably be aiming to wrap up the space in the next 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, so we'll kind of wrap up and get some discussion points near the end, and then play out a couple more songs. That being said, I'm going to play out Tel Aviv next, just so we can all once again shake around, get good moving. You know, Iranians and Israelis, we share that. We love our music, we love dance. So from the
يا حبيبي تل أبيب تسكر كبليدي מסביב עושים לי היי היי בלילה וואי וסחטן על תל אביב
All right, all right. I hope everyone, took the opportunity to rock out to some of that beautiful, beautiful music. I've been hearing that song a lot lately, and my God, is it good. All right, so
Works
Alex,
really well with Persian dance moves, I think.
oh, 100%. Like Esther said, we are going to be having a DJ night for sure. Once the round is free, we're
And
going to be,
I've already booked the TheShahsMan to be the DJ, just so we're all clear.
and like I
Oh,
tell
we're
everyone,
gonna put
do
him up
bar
in a
mitzvahs too.
chair. The Shah. Have you ever seen Jews? We put people up in a chair when we have a party. We put them in the chair. The crown
I mean,
the
when
the crown prince is
if he's
going in the
working the
chair.
oh, okay, yeah, I was gonna say the TheShahsMan is working the turntables. He can't be in the chair.
I mean, I already had posted here too. We saw the Israeli hospitality for the crown prince. If you scroll back into space, we have it pinned. They're bringing out a cake with the imperial crown right there. Here, I'll share it once again to the space so everyone can see. Just beautiful hospitality. It's yet another thing that unites our cultures. I love it. I really love it. So heck yeah, we're
And just
definitely
let me
gonna be.
add, if I could, he also put his hand on a wall that's the last remaining wall that would hold King Solomon's temple, which was very, very monumental and probably made a lot of people very, very jealous because this is huge in history, and it's very incredible what happened. It was historical, and yeah, it's pretty amazing that King Cyrus helped to rebuild the temple, and that is one of the most um, upsetting things. If you see my profile, you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see the years. One has been built on top of the other, but they want to say they were there first. It's so simple. If you put your hand down and I put my hand on top, whose hand was there first? The one on the bottom. And it really irritated those haters and the evil in the world when the crown prince came and visited where his names of his peoples of such a great man, King Cyrus, had a hand in rebuilding that temple. So it just made the haters hate more. And I always say they hate us because they ain't us. And that's the truth. They want to keep the great people down and they want to try and dominate because they can't be great on their own.
And that's what a lot of Iranians, I saw many Iranians celebrate. I saw a couple of Iranians confused because they were like, what's going on? This is such a huge paradigm shift. This is monumental. And I use the same exact explanation, Esther, because it doesn't get any simpler. We as Iranians, we see Cyrus the Great as our progenitor. He's the father of all of us. Cyrus the Great made Iranians. He gave us our identity. He united the Pars and the Medians,
He put the
and
crown on
he
your people's head. Really put the crown on your head.
exactly. And I like I said, every Iranian, because of Cyrus the Great and because of the Pahlavi family, every Iranian has got a crown on their head because of this legacy that the Pahlavis gave back to us. I mean, before the Pahlavi dynasty, people did not even know what Cyrus the Great's tomb was. They thought it was the tomb of something completely unrelated. And it was thanks to them being invested in our culture, being invested in academia, hiring people to actually uncover the inscriptions that we learned that. But Alex, you go ahead.
Yeah, no, I got a lot to say, but I will say, first and foremost, I think I'm just going to start calling you the Shah's ref. You're officially the referee to stopping people from going over the minutes. So, congratulations, you're now the Shah's ref. Secondly, I've known Esther from Clubhouse. A lot of people have said they've known me from the Clubhouse days, and I wasn't kidding when I said I was very active on Clubhouse. So you're seeing a lot of familiar faces now coming in from Clubhouse world. So there you go. You guys are seeing my people. But look, I'm going to be very quick because Shaw's ref has to wrap up the room. Yeah, that's your name now. Love you, brother. So look, His Majesty Reza Pahlavi turned a lot of people upside down. He turned the red and the black genocide deniers against him. And at the same time, Israel brought him in like he was the next King Cyrus. If you guys don't see the depiction of how monumental his visit was, then you need to go back and look at history, as Esther eloquently stated. King Cyrus not only is the father of Iran, but he united into what Iran is today. Okay. Persian, Kurds, Baluch, anybody else was Iran was a fractured area until King Cyrus united us. And because of that, he is the epicenter of a free and democratic Iran. Number three, anybody who wants to support Saddam Hussein, wants to support these Marxist, degenerate mujahideen types, let me make it very clear: they will never represent Iran. They will never have a foothold in the city that I am from, because not only did they decided to turn on Iranians by joining Saddam, but they also decided to kill Kurdish Iranians, which what I am. And I will tell you this right now: if these mujahideen types think that in their own delusional cult that they can come back into a country and think that they're an opposition movement, there will be hell to pay for them. I make it very clear on that. That's a red line. Yeah, that's all I have to say tonight. I encourage everybody to come to the space. I know that Sarah needs to take her nap, and I know it's Sunday. It's Sunday fun day, so I'm gonna make it very clear. Tonight's gonna be a wonderful room. I encourage everybody to come in, get your questions ready, and we're gonna my guest is very patriotic, and she stood up for the Jewish brothers and sisters, and just hear her story tonight. That's all I have to say on the matter. Just bucks for that. Back to you, Ref.
I just want to throw in, everyone just keeps outing Sarah's sleep habits, and if you know, you know.
It's very important for Sarah to sleep. Well, let's just know that she needs to sleep. If she doesn't sleep, it's gonna be a cranky Sunday. So yeah, no, I'm just kidding. I love you, Sarah.
I love it. I love it.
So hold on, Sarah, are you going to bless us with your voice?
Yes, I will bless you with my voice tonight and right now, but I do need to take a nap here soon.
You can fall asleep on a space. Apparently, people do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Puda.
Oh gosh, poor Yahuda. That guy's always falling asleep at like 3:30. Don't ask me why I'm up at 3:30 too. But anyway,
That happened last night, man. Last night.
In fairness, like that's like hour 18 of his spaces.
yeah, he's a trooper. He really is. That being said, if anyone else has any last words, um, let me know. Otherwise,
Yes, right here. I have one small request. Since this is a podcast, I have to request this. You have to play one song that's Bandari. Por favor.
And my song.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I had one song in the outro queue, but now we're up to 4 songs. So
Wait, is
that
there going
being
to be a
said,
party with Bezanjun and Gourmet Sabzi or anything?
oh yeah,
I mean, you got
100%.
to bring the Persian food.
Esther,
Exactly.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't say this in a lot of spaces, so don't tell anybody. Not that anybody's listening. I will put Gourmet Sabzi before pizza any day.
Obviously, that's a no-brainer.
Oh wow, I'm
You're
getting
going to get death threats from New Yorkers.
I already have the Hamas minions after me.
Well, that's
they're
when
not
you know you're
all
doing
those.
something right.
If you guys are ever in Cali talking about pizza, gourmet sabzi, hey guys, there's actually a few places in Cali with all our Iranian diaspora there. They're so creative. I've actually heard they've been making tadik tacos. Tadik tacos. Think about that.
Where is
I,
this place? I'm in the area. I need
I just want
this.
to say I love you, bro, but if I'm ever in California, it's not on purpose.
Hi, Scully. Hello there, young lady.
Hello.
ShahsMan, you got to give a breakdown to our listeners what Tahdig is and how much it means to our culture. You got to give a breakdown, brother.
All right, guys. So, so tadik is meaning literally bottom, ta, dik pot, bottom of the pot. When you cook rice, We let the heat last a little bit longer. We let that bottom of the rice get real nice and crunchy. And that itself is a delicacy. When we serve the rice, that's on top with some saffron, and everyone kind of goes at it, with like forks and knives like animals. But I don't know, maybe some other Iranians here are more civilized, but for us, it's gloves off. Like you're gonna get your tadik or you're gonna die trying. We get creative with it too. Sometimes you lay down a tortilla and it can be bread tadik, or you can put potatoes and it can be potatoes down there. All of it crispy, golden brown, delicious. Now, the absolute goodness that I talked about. So, some people are purposefully making tariq even a little bit thicker, and then they're going ahead, folding that over, and making that as their taco shell. And they're putting either fesanjun, gorma sabzi, or game in the middle of that and making a taco. I
Is
wish.
Okay,
is
fine. I'm
this in
coming to California.
is this in Persian Square, Tarangelis, whatever, around that area somewhere? What's the address? I want to know it too now.
I found it on Insta. I'm gonna have to go hunt my folder that I saved it in, and then I'll get it out to you guys. But yeah, so
How
let's
are you going to mention it and not be able to provide the information? This is a penalty. Someone pull a red card on him.
Are you pulling a red card on the actual referee? What are you
Yeah,
doing?
I am. I'm pulling one on the ref.
I mean, I gotta give people a reason to tune in next time, right? So, guys,
Same
if you
bat
like kind
time,
of what
same
you're.
bat channel.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is the cliffhanger, right? People are gonna be like, "Where is that? I gotta know. I gotta know." So that's the cliffhanger. If you guys want to find that out, I do every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. I host some of this music and advocacy centered on Iran, but we've in the past also played out a lot of Israeli music and solidarity. If we get some of the same crowd again, gladly will do that. And we're thinking that maybe if there's the demand, we might do some more of these long format solidarity rooms as well. You guys tell me what you guys want, pretty much.
ShahsMan, I found the Tadiq taco food truck. I'm going to pin it
Hey,
up
hey,
in
hey! You
the.
keep that. You keep that to yourself. How am I gonna
Hey,
get people to? How are people
Nico,
gonna listen
Nico,
in
you
on?
gotta, Nico, you gotta hit me up with that. You don't have to show anyone else.
That's not fair. That's not fair at all.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
if you come to the Wednesday space for the Shaws, man, you'll get it. But Nico can send it to me in the meantime.
Exactly. If everyone who says that they promise to show up on Wednesday, they can get it. There we go. How about that? That's a good compromise. All
Well,
right.
I already sent you the playlist, the Israeli music playlist for next Wednesday. You got it on your DM, remember?
You did, and I'm also going to work on getting. I looked up. I did not actually find a lyrics list, even in Farsi, for that song Ashkashaw. But I'm gonna work on getting the lyrics for that written down and then translated for you.
Yes,
I
because
remember. Don't worry.
I sent you the lyrics for the one that you like, so you owe me that one.
You're right. You know what, Nico? Send Alex the taco. Send Alexander the send him the taco truck because I'm in debt to him. And
No,
I
no,
always
no,
pay my
no,
debt.
no, no. There's no ransom for the lyrics of the song. No, no. There's no taco that I need the lyrics for that song. You know that.
You're right. You're right. I promise you that, so you'll get it. Give me till Wednesday. Let me put it on my, because I thought I would be able to find. I was looking up before the space. I thought I'd be able to find it, and I was like, come on, how does nobody have the lyrics for this thing? So I didn't have enough time before doing the setup to write it down myself and translate it. But without further ado, let's go to Scully. Scully, last word's yours, and then I'll play out a couple songs, and we'll wind down the space, and it'll be about 10 minutes of music, and then we'll close down the space.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this great space. I just wanted to give a tip to our non Iranian friends in this space about tahdig. Sometimes we're super greedy about it because, like, it's only the shell of the rice, and we pretend that you're not going to like it so that, we get our share. So just keep that in mind. You definitely, definitely want to try it if it's ever near you. And if you're in a restaurant, you don't see it on the menu because sometimes they have tahdig with a stew on it. Ask if they have any tahdig because sometimes they will do that for you, but they don't put it on the menu.
Scully,
That's all.
Korma Sabzi on Tadiq is the bomb diggity.
all right, sounds good. Okay, I love all of that. So like we said, we got the Alex space coming up next, and we got 6:30 p.m. Eastern, doing another space similar to this, and a lot of more so focused on music and advocacy. But we got a lot of people saying that they want more of this, so we'll definitely look into that. Be sure to follow our speaker panel, and we'll keep you updated on if we get another one of these going. That being said, I'm going to close out the space with a couple songs. This first one's going to be some IDF soldiers singing Sultana Qab, and then we'll play out a little bit more. Thank you very much, everyone. Payandi Iran, Javid Shah, and I'm Israel Chai.
I'm Yisrael Chai.
So obviously you guys have to wash it down with something, right? You can't have water or soda because then you're just gonna ruin the Persian moment. You have to drink dur. ShahsMan, give a breakdown of the dur, baby boy.
He just called him baby
Man, he
boy.
called you baby boy.
Hey yo,
Holy shit.
hey yo. I mean,
All right, tell him what the
Hey
tell him what
yo.
the
Hey
dur.
yo.
Tell him.
Yo, yo.
Hold on, relax. ShahsMan, tell him what the dur consists of.
that's ShahsMan, my DJ, my gracious host, my eternal guard. Now, yeah. So all right, Nico. This man wants to keep this space going for forever, but fine. Doux is a beautiful carbonated drink sent down to us by God. No. So yeah, Doux is pretty much they take yogurt. It's like yogurt soda they call it. I'm not sure that description sounds appetizing, but try it before you knock it. Um, it's carbonated most of the time if you drink it the right way, which is what I say. It's got to be that Aubali mint flavor. If you go to the Tadik taco truck, I hope they have it. I would definitely recommend it. A lot of your kebab places they should carry that. So yeah, great stuff, nutritious and kind of funny out there.
Okay, so
Um,
real quick, we've gone from you being Shaw's ref to baby boy, and that's not all I'm going to call you.
all right, you guys heard it here. Anyone who
Hey,
didn't
we
call me,
spread nothing but positivity in ShahsMan podcast. No room for negativity.
And you spread your New York coffee everywhere you talk. It's okay. We know you were on Jersey Shore. It's all good.
And there you go, Alex. Drum roll.
well, you guys see, you see this ragtag band I have. Sarah not included because she's majestic. But you guys see this ragtag band I have to free around with? No, I'm kidding. I love them all. They're good people. Positivity and happiness is the anathema of the regime occupying my homeland. We've seen it today, where a elderly gentleman was sharing nothing but happiness and positivity with some of his videos of these beautiful songs and dances. And unfortunately enough, that was justification for the Islamic Republic to arrest that man. I'll share one of his videos here in the space, sort of as my parting. And I think that's kind of the same energy I try to capture here just a little bit, trying to focus on music and the way that that can bring us together, show us all that we have much more in common than we ever thought possible. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'll keep this space open just for a little bit, just in case anyone wants to go look through some of the links and stuff. There we go. I got it up there. So you got 20 seconds to go click that link, go see that guy's beautiful voice, beautiful dancing, and understand that unfortunately that guy was arrested by the Islamic Republic just for that, just for dancing. Nothing else. Nothing political about it. Just they saw a guy uniting people about around happiness, and they found that outrageous because they are, like I said, the opposite. They thrive off misery. The beautiful thing, the silver lining, is that Iranians did not stay silent. They took this in the way that they always do to show that the flame of the revolution is still alive. They decided to do their own form of protest, and Iranians all over Iran have been recording themselves dancing to that guy's same music, showing that same happiness and light, and letting the regime know that we are still opposing you. We are waiting, and we are going to overthrow that awful regime. So I think that's the perfect note to end the space on.
Don't forget, always use the word terrorist. That's what they are. They're terrorists, and they're terrorizing their own people, the entire Middle East, and they're spreading the terrorism into Europe, Western countries, and it's disgusting.
There we go. There we go. Well said. And now, once and for all, we will be wrapping up the space. So,
Tonight, 8 o'clock, all of you are invited. Please do come in. Please do.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So, Payanda Iran, Javi Cha, Amar
Avicha.
wants to come in, please do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So پاینده ایران جاوید شاه امرسراخه.
جاوید شاه.